Stop.
Alrighty, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to CTE. I'm Henry. This is Theo.
What up? Welcome back, you cucks.
Uh, you know, as you all saw, that main event on this card didn't necessarily go according to plan, which
Yeah.
is fine. I mean, we'll
We
take
just
the
have
heat from that
to.
shit. I've seen everything that's been said. All the people that went back and commented after the fight. The one guy that went back and said, came back just to dislike, that shit was funny.
Yeah,
So
that was
we'll give you
hilarious.
props. I mean, it is what it is. That's just part of the game.
We got to eat our words. Yeah.
People expecting us to delete the video and shit, or like that's like the main thing right now is, oh, delete the video, whatever. And like, we're not gonna do that, obviously. Like, we knew the backlash we were prepared to face if, our prediction was wrong, and it was, and we don't really give a fuck. So
No,
it
this
is
is.
what it is. Uncle Volky got starched in the second round. We're gonna talk about that at the end once we get to it. Still went 4-1 on the card though, you know? Every other prediction we had was correct, except for obviously the one that mattered the most. So, it is
But
what it
it
is. We
just.
take it on the chin. We keep going. So, you know, oh well. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and break down the card from the opener to the main event, starting with Anthony Hernandez getting the round 2 rear naked choke in the second round over Roman Kopylov. Anthony Hernandez looked fucking great.
Yeah.
Kopylov, he started out strong, was landing some decent strikes. He outstruck Hernandez, not by much, but by a little bit. But he just couldn't defend the takedown. Well, I guess actually, Hernandez did go 3 for 14 on takedowns, so he did stuff a bunch of them. But the ones, like we said in the predictions, once he does get you down, that's where the problems are. And he's like middleweight Merab, so he shot 14 times, which is a decent amount for, how fast he finished the fight. And then he got him down, got his back and fucking subbed him. Not a whole lot to say about this one. A lot of people were picking Kopylov to win. And like we said, if he didn't KO him early, Hernandez was gonna just fucking, after he got a little tired, which he did, take him down, submit him, and that was that. So that was we predicted that one to a T. I
Yeah.
think I said decision. He said actually round 2 rear naked choke. So, you know,
The thing that was wild to me about that fight though was how like tired Kopylov seemed to get with just defending the takedown.
yeah,
Like I understand that's a huge part of the work and everything, and
yeah,
like it takes it out of you, but Hernandez didn't seem tired at all,
no,
shooting 14 takedowns
he,
in what, 2 rounds?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
like a round and a half.
yeah, so it's like
Yeah,
he seemed not tired at all, and
no,
Kopylov seemed exhausted
which
and
he's
just,
known for.
yeah, just, but
You
he
know,
seemed to be exhausted for
yeah.
to having to defend all those takedowns, and eventually, as you said, yeah, once Hernandez just got a hold of him, once he got those takedowns and he was able to control him on the ground, it didn't really matter that he had defended those other ones. He just,
Yeah,
yeah, he got his back and did what had to do.
literally. I mean, it gets to a point where like you can defend it only so many times, and then once you get to that, once your cardio starts to go, and you can't defend it anymore, and then he does get you down, and then you're already
Yeah.
gassed, and then it's easier for him to, transition on the ground and put you in that tough, situation.
I mean,
So
Kopylov definitely looked good in the first, as
he
you said.
did,
His striking was there.
he
He
did,
was
yeah.
looking to find get home with some of his combinations and strikes and stuff. But
Yeah, he
yeah,
landed
it's
some
just
nice body kicks.
the cardio of Hernandez just was too much.
Yeah, it was. It was relentless, as we said. It was gonna be, and yeah, that's what happened in this fight. Good win for Anthony Hernandez. I say you definitely give him a guy ranked above him now, or maybe
100%.
like a Chris Curtis, or something like that. But yeah, it was a pretty dominating performance from him. So we'll see what they end up doing with him in his next fight. Up the card. Merab Dvalishvili gets the dominant unanimous decision win over Henry Cejudo, which we also said was going to happen, and it did. And obviously that one wasn't like that. That's what most people were saying.
Fight was way more entertaining than expected,
But yeah,
at
it
least
was
for
it was
me.
actually a pretty decent scrap. Henry Cejudo came out, looked pretty good in the first round. He actually wobbled Merab in the first round and had a strong start. And then, as
Fell
Merab
apart.
does, he wears you down. 37-year-old Cejudo, he started to gas out, and then Merab in round 2 and 3 just took over and dominated him in those rounds. And Cejudo, obviously, they didn't even give him a chance on the mic. Dana said in the post-fight interview, he's like, Cejudo already retired. Like, tonight was Merab's night. If he wants to retire, he can do it, in his post-fight presser or whatever. But the mic time in the octagon was for Merab. So,
I mean, I like it. It's hard to treat a legend of the sport like that, and I understand. But he has. It's. I couldn't agree more. I
yeah,
mean, it's
yeah,
just Cejudo. We're not going to sit around and watch you retire again. Everyone knows you're going to retire after that ass kicking. You
literally.
can't fight. I mean, you're not the
Yeah.
same, nearly the same caliber fighter you used to be. We all see that.
Hmm.
So it's like, why are they going to? We're going to let you have a whole ceremony and an emotional moment, and what, take away from Marab's work? No,
Yeah,
not
no,
at all.
you're not gonna
Merab
do that.
dominated you.
Yeah,
Purely dominated you. He picked you up and carried you across the cage and slammed you.
yeah.
He did what he wanted.
That was
So
a
it's like,
great moment.
yeah, we're not going to take it away from Merab and give you this chance to make everyone feel bad for you. First of all, you tried playing it like, oh, they're going to beg me to come back when I retire. I know Dana and everyone's going to want me back. No one wanted you back, man. Absolutely nobody. So when
Literally.
you did come back, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. You were a good
Was it cool to
champion.
see
Your
him back?
prime was,
Yeah,
it was
but
impressive and you were good, but you did this to yourself. You chose to retire at arguably the best moment, the best time for you. You were in your prime, you were dominating.
yeah,
And you chose to retire because you thought maybe this would make you, people would beg for
because
you to
I
be back and
deserve
stuff.
more
Yeah,
money.
it's stuff, but no, that's not what happened. And now you just took a fat old shit on your own legacy,
He
in
did.
my
He did.
opinion.
Like
Came back and you've lost twice. And
hmm
I understand Aljo, that was a
It was
good
two elite
performance. Right.
losses to two elite guys, but at the same time, it's like, it's still like,
Yeah, you came back and you took a dump on your legacy, and then you expect everyone to bow down and still give you the praise. It's like, no, man. And I understand it's like, was it a little bit disrespectful? Yes, but that's Dana. He doesn't give a fuck.
yeah,
And
no, we all know
Cejudo, you are
Dana.
still a legend of the game. You always will be. You'll always be
Yeah,
one of the greatest. But it's like, come on, man.
yeah, literally. I mean, as you said,
We're
very
not gonna
well
kiss
said.
your
I
ass.
mean, he didn't deserve. Yeah, like retiring again is just you don't, he already fucking retired. And whenever someone looks back on Cejudo's legacy, they're always gonna be like, well, yeah, but he came back and got dominated by Merab, and then he lost to Aljo and stuff. So like people will probably more so remember that than his
Uh,
fucking. I mean, maybe not, but at the same time, it's like that will always linger after you talk about, oh yeah, he was
100%.
double champ, but then remember he came back and had those two losses, and so it's like, I don't know, dude. He want like, he saw what Khabib did, retired, and then was begged to come back, was
It's
offered
like,
like
dude, that's
10 million to come back and fight GSP or whatever the fuck it was, and he thought he was gonna get that same type of treatment, but
right.
he didn't, and rightfully so. He's not that guy.
You're not
But
that
like you
guy,
said,
pal. You're
you're
not that
not that
guy.
guy, pal.
You're
You're
not
not
that
that
guy.
guy. But fucking yeah, he's just he's not on that caliber of those other guys. Even though he is a legend, he's just not quite in that upper echelon of dudes where you're gonna get that special treatment like a Khabib, a GSP, a John Jones.
It's
Guys
also
that
like,
left and came back and were everyone wanted them back.
it's also
Yeah.
to the point. It's like, you're a legend of the sport. You're not a fan legend.
Yes, you're not a fan
Yeah, like,
favorite.
you're not a
Like
fan
a
favorite.
Tony.
Like, if fucking, like, with Connor, people are begging for Connor to come back. They want Connor to come back. Khabib, they wanted Khabib to come
Yeah,
back. Jones, those fan favorites, those people that can sell the fight. Adesanya, people want him back. Those are
exactly.
different. You're not. I'm sorry, Sudo. Again, you're a legend of the sport, but
Even a guy
Merab,
like Zabit,
congratulations. Exactly.
you
Even
know?
like, well, he was just so entertaining from a
Yeah.
fighter's fan. Like, just be
But it
able
just
to
goes to
watch
show
that.
you, if you ask 10 MMA fans, let's say this was before Cejudo came back, who would you rather have back, Zabit or Cejudo? I'm saying probably 9 out of, if not 10 out of 10 are
I don't
picking
know about
Zabit.
that. I don't know about that.
I
I don't
think
know.
they
But
would.
I would definitely say the
Yeah.
majority would say Zabit.
Yeah.
I think the majority
Which
say
is my
Zabit.
point. So yes, more people would say Zabit, but yeah, it's just but like you said, it was a entertaining fight. I
Yeah.
mean, I expected this one. I said
He
in the predictions, this one I thought was going to be kind of a snoozer because Merab fights usually aren't that entertaining because he just spam takedown, gets you down, doesn't really do a whole lot with you on the ground. But the stand-up exchanges were good. Cejudo rocked Merab in the first round, and then Merab was landing some nice shots on Cejudo once he got tired, and then he started fucking putting in that work. He fucking slammed him. Like when Matt Hughes slammed that dude across the octagon. It wasn't as good as that, but it was like sort of similar. So yeah, it was a good scrap, dominating win for Merab. I mean, Dana already said he's getting the title shot next.
100%.
So the winner of O'Malley versus Cheeto will have to deal with fucking Merab. So have fun with that.
Literally.
But up the card we go to the feature fight and the most boring fight on the card, hands down.
Yeah.
Geoff Neal versus Ian Garry. Ian Garry gets the split decision over Geoff Neal, which the 230-27s on this card for Garry is crazy.
Yeah.
On it for me personally, I had it 29-28 for Geoff Neal. After the fight ended, I was like, dude, I think Neal won.
I need to go back and watch this
Yeah,
fight because
yeah.
we watched it live together, and then I
Yeah.
vaguely watched
Yeah.
it like in my the other day, but I was doing stuff, so I wasn't really watching it.
Yeah.
I need to sit down and really rewatch this fight. I also think the glazing of Bisping and Rogan on
Rogan
Machado,
was bad.
it was fucking bad.
Rogan
and I
was like-
love Rogan. I'm a
yeah.
huge Rogan fan. Dude, he
it
would
was
not
bad.
take Machado's dick out
He
of his
couldn't,
throat.
dude. It was
And
terrible.
I think that bias with Machado, with Rogan
that plays
and
a part for
Bisping,
sure.
100% had a part to play in it from the judges, and it's just I need to go back and really sit down and watch it again. So I don't really have I can't really say on that one right now, but I do see a lot of people that are like, "Wait, what? Are you serious?" But again, I agree with you. The 27-30 is just ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy. The fact that
I don't think they
couldn't give Neal one single round. Like I think Neal definitely won the first round.
even like watching
And it's just that with the Rogan thing, like there was one comment he said specifically where it was like, what did he say? He was like, imagine how good Garry versus Leon would be. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Ian counter striking and his ability to go in there and then pop out
His
real
distance control.
quick was phenomenal.
It was
his
great.
distance control and his ability, those elbows he was landing, those knees, that just in and out striking, very impressive. But I mean, it's like to go 20,
Yeah.
30, 27 for.
Yeah.
I don't think he won all three. I don't think so
at
I do
all.
need to go back and rewatch this fight to know for
Me
sure.
too.
but
Me too. I mean, on looking at the stats
bit
here,
rough.
like, you know, based on paper, you could be like, yeah, Garry definitely won. But if I feel like it's one of those fights where like watching it gives you a different perspective than looking at the stats.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, Geoff Neal had basically 4 minutes of control time, which I don't even really remember happening, but I guess that did happen. And I do remember him landing some decent shots, but Garry was very worried about getting hit by him.
Oh,
He was very
100%.
scared of getting touched by Neal, as he should be. But at the same time, like he just didn't take any risks. He played it safe. He got the win. Obviously no one's talking about this fight or like saying, "Oh, what a performance from Garry," because it was fucking boring and he didn't take any risks and he kind of just skated to a decision and,
I think that's what's playing a huge factor in it, though, is the fact that this is the first time for us really seeing him go to decision.
Yeah.
This is the first time for us really seeing him kind of put on a boring performance and just, play it safe and get to the win, because we've always seen him, these crazy head kicks, these crazy finishes, just going in there and taking
I mean, he
the
went
lights
decision
out.
with Geoff or Neal Magny. But
Right. But it's like he put a
But he
fucking
did
ass.
butcher
He
him.
butchered
Yeah.
Neal
Yeah.
Magny. Like, you knew he was winning that fight. So I think for us to be able to see just kind of a boring decision, a lot of fans were like, well, this is, they have their opinions where Geoff Neal won and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I mean,
But it's also like that's not something we're used to, because he goes in there and
yeah. It's just recency
dominator.
bias. If he goes out in his next fight, let's say he starches Colby Covington, everyone will be even though all the hate and stuff.
and
the hate will fade eventually.
But that's another thing too. They don't even give a shit that he won. Everybody hates him.
yeah, they're just.
They
I mean,
fucking hate it. And he's not doing any favors with it. He's
Nope.
not doing himself any favors walking off the press conference, flicking people off.
yeah.
Telling the fans that they're
At
here
this-
to see me. You're just
Yeah,
here
the
to come
almost
and
crying
watch
at the
me."
presser was
Yeah.
nuts. But
Just shit like that, and then
he needs to just go full heel. He needs to just completely just go into it.
he can't.
But I don't. You're right.
He's
can't
not
do it.
that character.
He's not that guy.
He's not that guy. He's over there, like, they call my wife a pedophile.
I mean, you can not be that guy, but still, like Colby, for example, who's not that guy, but he can be that guy. But for a
that's
guy
Colby.
like Garry, he can't do that persona.
He's a
like
cuck.
like Colby.
He's a cock.
And
Plain and
he
simple,
called
he's a
out
cuck.
Colby in his post-fight interview. I think that is the fight to make. I think on a feature fight of another big card, maybe International Fight Week, you do Colby versus Garry feature fight. on that card for sure. I think that would be a fun fight. I know, arguably the two most hated fighters right now, with
Yeah.
Colby and Ian Garry. So that would be a fun matchup. So we'll see if they get that done. I think Colby would take that fight, and me personally, that's what I would want to see next.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, overall boring win from Garry. He got the dub. He did what he had to do, but still a cuck.
Always
And
will be a cock.
and we'll see if he ends up fighting Colby next. But yeah, anyways, up the card, co-main event, best fight of the night in my opinion. Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa. Whittaker gets the unanimous decision win, which I see some people saying robbery and shit, and I'm like, dude, that's outrageous. Like I understand Costa probably did more damage. He hit him with that
Oh,
crazy spinning heel kick in the first round, which had me worried as fuck.
what?
I was like, no, Bobby Knuckles.
I literally said to him
Yeah,
right before it happens, where
yeah,
it's like 15
yeah,
seconds into the fight. I literally
yeah,
tap him and I was like, careful, dude.
yeah.
You know, Whittaker in the 10 seconds.
Yep.
And we look back at the screen and just see
Yeah,
that
that shit
head
was
kick land.
beautiful,
And we were
man.
like, what the fuck?
But
Where the fuck have those been?
yeah, literally.
Where have
I don't think
those
he's ever
been?
thrown that before.
Dude, his
Yeah.
leg kicks looked phenomenal that whole
Yeah.
fight. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, where have those been, man? If you were throwing those on,
They
like,
were
just
like,
and other fighters, if you were throwing that against Vittori or like Izzy or
yeah.
stuff like that, like, holy shit,
Yeah,
man,
no,
it
it
looked
was
phenomenal.
it was a good fight. I say me personally, Bobby Knuckles definitely won. 30-27 for Rob, I think is a bit crazy. I think Costa definitely won the first round
Yeah,
with that spinning heel kick at the end, which wobbled Whittaker bad. But Whittaker did beat the bad chin allegations in this fight
yes, he
with
did.
eating that. Like
Yeah,
the fact that he didn't get dropped off that, he beat the allegations. So good job, Whittaker. They both chopped the fuck out of each other's legs.
destroyed.
I mean, Rogan also was topping Costa in this fight, just saying, "Oh my God, Costa is butchering Whittaker's leg," but fucking Whittaker was 28 for 28 on leg kicks and destroyed the shit out of Costa's leg, which didn't get mentioned as much as Costa chewing up Whittaker's
That
leg,
was
even
just,
though
I think,
Whittaker landed more of them on Costa. So I
I
don't know.
think when Costa was landing them, they were just like the sound of
Maybe
it
more
and
of
the
a reaction
yeah, it was the
or
sound of it and the power and
yeah,
stuff like that. But it was
yeah.
just Whittaker was way more consistent
Yeah,
with
it
it.
was just a classic Whittaker performance, which another fight. We predicted this to a T. I
Yeah.
think I said it word for word. I was like, we're gonna get a classic Robert Whittaker masterclass. I think I said 30-27, which I mean I don't think that's a correct scorecard for this. I think 29-28 is far more in the
Accurate.
realm of reality here, but still, yeah, predicted this one to a T. And I don't think I said it for the last one, but the Garry fight, we also predicted that one. I think we both said finish for Garry, but
Yeah.
still we picked him. So like, yeah, you guys can't shit on us too much, okay? Like, I mean,
No, they rightfully can. You
yeah,
guys can take a shit all over it, but it
yeah,
doesn't matter. We're
yeah,
4-1.
mhm,
The only problem is, it's like if you
yeah,
get everything right on the test except for the 50-point
yeah,
question.
yeah.
So
Which
it's like it does
unfortunately we
every other the other right picks we did and everything else we did. Fuck all.
it
It
doesn't
matters
matter
shit.
because we
Volk
shit the bed
losing,
on the big question. So.
yes, we ruined it. But
Unfortunate, but yeah, good win for Bobby Knuckles. I say next you do maybe him versus Cannonier in a rematch on a maybe a fight night main event or something like that.
yeah,
And Paulo Costa, I don't know,
maybe
you give him
Strickland.
some guy ranked below him because Paulo Costa did prove that he's a top guy in this fight. I mean, going toe to toe with Whittaker like that, rocking him with a nasty spinning heel kick, and he looked good on the feet.
It looked
His
like
main problem is just his inactivity and he doesn't have any momentum. I think once he starts becoming more active and fighting more, build up some momentum, he could definitely be a problem in the future. So
we've seen him. We know how
yeah,
he can fight. We know he's an animal, but it's like, as you said, man, he's just inconsistent. And he's just he doesn't
long
seem to be able
layoffs,
take and build any momentum right now.
Exactly. So that's what he needs to do. But overall, yeah, it was a great fight. I think this should have been fight of the night. For some reason, I think they gave it to Dern versus Lemos, which was a great fight. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But I think this was definitely the best fight on the card. But yeah,
Whitaker's face was fucked
it
up.
was, dude. I mean, Paulo Costa had like some damage here and there, but like nothing like Whittaker. Whittaker's face was pretty fucked up, mainly because of that spinning heel kick.
Yeah,
But to the main event. Unfortunately, I mean, respect to Topuria, it was a nasty shot, but
yeah.
Alexander
All,
Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. Topuria starches Volk in the second round with a beautiful right hook, right on the money, drops Volk dead, and ends his 1500 plus day title reign. I think it
Yeah,
was the fourth longest title reign in UFC history,
it was.
and Topuria just ended it just like that.
Dude,
So,
again, as we said, we shit all over him
I mean, he
before
made
and
me eat
stuff,
my words. Like
but it
all
just
respect,
all the props to him,
all the
man.
props,
Everything
man.
he
He's
said he
that
was gonna
guy.
do and do, he
He
did.
did it.
He,
You
it,
can't not
yeah,
respect that.
it's just
It's
fuck,
crazy.
man.
I mean, he's a dog. He's just that fucking guy, man. I didn't think he was that guy, but he is. Like I'm,
It hurts
fair
to
enough.
say it, and it sucks because Volk will always be one of my favorites and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, what he was able to do out there, and Volk won the
Volk looked
first, in my
great.
opinion.
Volk
Volk
looked
looked
really
good.
good.
The jab was landing home. Toporia's face was starting to get beat up
Yeah, his
just within that.
nose.
Yeah,
Yep.
you could see. So, I mean, Volk was finding his home. He was looking good. And it's just, but they were slowly, you could see Topuria was getting him on his back, getting him
Yep.
closer and closer to the
Once he
fence.
backed him to the
And
cage.
every time you just kept going like, "Don't get away from the fence," and then all of a sudden, just
Yep, and then
bam, and
when
just done.
Topuria gets you against the cage like that,
It's not
it's
good.
wraps,
It's
dude.
not
And
good.
whenever Volk landed a leg kick and backs away, he leaves his chin up in the air like that. And as soon as that started happening, because that's something Volk's always done, it was never really seen as a big issue until he fought a huge power puncher like Topuria, to where like if he does that one time and then Topuria's in range and he catches him like he did,
And the
then it's over.
and he does it with shorter fighters. Fighters that are shorter than with him, then he leaves his chin out.
Yep,
He leaves his chin out a
yep,
lot. He
yep.
knows to adjust to that with
And
taller
that's just
fighters.
not a guy you can do that against.
Not at all.
So it's as we saw. I mean,
And there was never the question. We never questioned Toporia's power.
no,
All of
we
us knew
didn't. We
that.
we
Just
acknowledged how
questioned.
good he was.
We
We
just
just thought Volk
questioned
was.
if he was going to be able to find the home of, find Volk's chin and find the home. We didn't think
Yeah.
he was. We thought Volk was going to be able to keep him away and do his work, but we never
Which it
questioned the
looked
power
like
or
that's
anything
what
like
was
that.
going to happen. I thought Volk was going to be able to just point fight him to a decision, without getting caught, because Volk was just the experience, how good his footwork is, knowing when he's in danger, and all that. But Topuria being as good as he is, he fucking walked him down and fucking just hit him with that nasty fucking shot. I mean, that
Right.
shit was fucking disturbing. Volk was out for a long time, and it took him a fucking minute to get up. So, I mean, props to Ilia Topuria, 15-0, undefeated, world champion. Volk wants the rematch in Spain, I guess. I think Volk needs a lot of time off, though. I
Yeah.
don't. I do not think he should immediately step back in there and fight
No, he needs to take a.
Topuria. Let's say they probably do the Spain card in like maybe August, but I think that's too soon for Volk. I think Topuria should fight someone else first, maybe like a Movsar Evloev, or maybe if Max beats fucking Gaethje, which I don't think's gonna happen, but yeah, you do something like that, and then after that, the winner of Topuria's first title defense, then Volk comes back. So I think that's how they should do it. I think if Volk goes right into another rematch or into another fight with Topuria, he just gets fucking starched again. And even after he does take time off, I think if he fights, regardless of when he fights Topuria again, Topuria is probably gonna beat him again. I think. So.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be really tough. I think he needs to take a page out of Izzy's book right now and just take some serious time off and just start, you just enjoy some time with the family. Just take some time off. Just
He needs it
do no
badly.
sort of gym or nothing. I mean, I know what he said. That's really hard for him because of his mental things, and he has to compete and stuff like that. But it's just something where he needs to take time off.
For his
He
own
needs,
well-being, he
yes,
needs to,
yes,
dude. It's important, man. He can't, like, imagine he fights Topuria again in August and just
and
gets
gets
fucking
knocked.
starched again.
Yeah,
Then it's really
then
over.
he has to retire.
I mean, people are already saying it's wraps and stuff, which I think's a bit crazy. Like, I mean,
It's
come on
just
now. That's a first loss at the weight class. I understand he's 35 and he got dominantly knocked out by the new dog in the yard, the young up and comer in Topuria. But still, I mean, like, come on, guys, slow down, slow down.
for sure. But
Like,
it's like just with the way the division looks, like
yeah,
where is he gonna go?
he definitely
Like
deserves his rematch,
I
though.
100% agree he
Yeah,
deserves a rematch, but you can't hold it the division for a year
yeah,
for him
no,
to give time off. And so, or even 6 months, you can't hold the division up for him to give time off. He can't.
yeah.
That's
That's
not an
why I think
option.
Topuria's got to fight somebody else
Yeah,
in the
but then who
meantime.
does right? But like even then, it's like Volk can't take a fight after this because the only fight that makes sense for Volk is the rematch because he
Yeah, I
ran
think
the
he
he
sits out,
ran
waits for Topuria to defend once, and then once after that, then Volk rematch with Topuria after he
Yeah,
defends once
yeah. I think that would
against
be the
someone
best
else.
thing to
Because,
do.
like I
But it's
said, if he goes into that just immediately in the Spain card, it's just not going to be good.
no, not all. But also the problem with that too is again, it's like who the hell is Topuria gonna fight right now? We've all seen how his opinion
Evloev's
on it.
the only option, really. I mean, what is he now in the division? I think he's number 3 after beating Arnold Allen, maybe number 4. Evloev is, I guess he's 5, why did they still put Ortega above him? That's
It makes
crazy.
no sense.
Evloev should be above Brian. I know Brian Ortega's fighting Yair, I think, next week or this weekend at the Mexico City fight night, which will be good. We got Ortega, Yair, and Moreno versus Royval too. So that'll be a good fight night. But yeah, I mean, Evloev's really the only guy you could have Topuria face in the meantime, unless I see some people saying like, oh, if O'Malley beats Cheeto, then you do Topuria O'Malley because those two have that beef or whatever going on. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But regardless of the situation, Volk needs to just step away
Mm-hmm.
and let Topuria enjoy, the success and all that shit, and have his first title defense against anybody other than fucking Volk.
Right, I agree. I
So,
mean, again, to Volk, as always, just great in victory and defeat. It was a
oh
class
yeah,
act after the fight. Took it like a man and everything.
100%. No
Definitely not
excuses.
the definitely not the result you wanted to see. But to Volk, you'll always be one of the greatest.
Always a legend.
Always a
Still the
legend.
featherweight goat in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. And
So
still
this
the man
doesn't
for the land
affect that.
down
I mean, the
under.
only loss at that weight class,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was a dominant defeat to take, but at the same time, I mean, like,
That's the fight
Aldo
game.
got starched by Connor in 13 seconds.
Yeah, it's like that's the fight game.
That's just how it goes, man. Like, 1 minute you're on the top of the world. After one fight, people are saying you should retire. That's how it goes.
Yeah, Usman,
So,
look back at
yeah,
Tony, all of
Usman,
them.
Izzy, all the guys that we deemed unbeatable at one point in time. That Father Time catches up, and next thing you know, they're getting knocked out by the new guy. So that's MMA, and unfortunately, our prediction was fucking dead wrong.
And
So
we had to end up eating that fucking fat slice of humble pie.
we did. We
Shit
ate the humble
sucked.
pie. It's all good. All the respect to Topuria, the new undisputed featherweight champion. So congrats to him. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. We might do a breakdown of the fight night this weekend. I don't think we'll do a predictions, but if it's a good card, we'll do a breakdown for that one. And then obviously the 299 predictions will be up probably a week before that card. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks for all the hate. Thanks for all the support as well. And yeah, that'll do it, boys. We will see you fuckers in the next one.
Take it easy, you cucks. Peace. Peace.